an interesting development in the streaming world of Disney+. We are going to be getting a Marvel Cinematic Universe streaming show released the entire season on Disney+ at the same time, in the same way that Netflix normally does. And Disney+ has not done this before as of yet, so this will be a first. We're going to be getting Echo, which is a character that I had never heard of before I read this article. But this is a character that appeared on Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye streaming series. And it is featuring a hearing-impaired Native American characters. They're going to be doing a little bit of experiment to see how this performs. What are your thoughts on Netflix-style dump and binge the entire season in one sitting?
I don't think this is an experiment at all. I think that they're trying to make something negative sound like a positive. I think the show is just really bad, and they're like, oh man, let's just dump it all on the same day, and then we get a weekend of negative reviews, and then we don't have to worry about it again. Because if it's a 7 or 8 episode season, every single week people are going to be talking about how bad this show is, or maybe one week they have a good episode. But I think overall, I don't think it's a good show, and they realize that. There's also production delays a couple months back, and this is a character that not a lot of people know. She was introduced in Hawkeye, which, one, that wasn't a really good season as well. Hawkeye kind of let me down. And Echo wasn't even the standout character in that series. If anything, they should have done a Hawkeye season 2, but with Kate Bishop's character. This just isn't a character that's very popular. This isn't a character that had any standout scenes in the Hawkeye series. The Hawkeye series was mediocre. It was just very, very odd that they even did this. And the only reason that I think they did do this is maybe they thought going into Hawkeye that this would be the standout character, which it didn't turn out to be. And then we have Daredevil Born Again coming out next year, and Echo and Daredevil and Kingpin all share a connection in that world. So I think that maybe this is just going to be like an epilogue for Daredevil. As far as it being experimental, that's complete BS, because they would have done that with Secret Invasion if it was experimental. They would have done that with Loki, which is coming out on October 6th, if it was experimental. Why are you waiting until November to try and experiment? Secret Invasion comes out next month. Do it next month. It's not up to par with what it should be.
Now, what were your thoughts on the character of Echo when you saw her?
Some characters are meant to be side characters. Honestly, no, it's a good side character, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a good lead. Look at The Hangover. Yeah. Zach Galifianakis' character, Alan. He's an excellent side character. I do not want to see a full Hangover spinoff of Alan. He's not a lead character. He's a side character.
That's a great example. Could you imagine Zach Galifianakis in his own streaming series, surrounded by
Hangover, people? Alan gets lost, or something like that. I don't know.
And somehow Alan is surrounded by people who are even crazier than Alan is. He would be outshined in his own crazy spin-off streaming series.
Echo going to make you sign up for Disney Plus?
Well, no. I've been planning to sign up for Disney Plus for a while now, and I just, between HBO Max and Netflix, and obviously all the new releases that are coming out, I just haven't gotten around to signing up to a point where I would sit down to watch all of the Star Wars and Marvel series that are on Disney Plus that are in the backlog that I really do need to watch at some point. But given all of the controversy that was surrounding She-Hulk and the seemingly self-admitted by Disney after the fact lack of quality control on some of the streaming shows, that doesn't give me confidence in the quality of Echo moving forward, especially when I haven't heard of this character before, and having not seen Hawkeye yet. And I like Hawkeye. I do like Hawkeye. I like original characters, so the fact that they were doing a Christmas time series on Hawkeye, I love the idea of it, but before they announced this series was coming out, I had never even heard of this character before. and hadn't known that she was going to be getting her own series. So, entire season being released at once in one Netflix-like blow to the solar plexus of viewing habits. It's not motivating me to sign up for Disney Plus any more than I was before. So, I think if they had confidence in this series, they would do more of their traditional release method. 1 or 2 or 3 episodes as premiere, and then 1 episode per week after that, just to try and milk the viewers into signing up or staying around longer.
It's also a word of mouth thing when you do something week by week. Look at The Last of Us. If you pulled up the numbers for The Last of Us, every week the numbers went up because people watched it, and then they told people to watch it, and then they told people to watch it. And that's why at the end of the series, you saw an amount that was nearly double what it started with viewership. I mean, I was telling my mom about The Last of Us. I was telling everyone. I was like, you got to watch this. And if you just drop everything on one day, if I tell someone, hey, go watch Echo, and then they click on it and they see it's 8 episodes, an hour long each, they're going to be like, well, I'm 8 episodes behind. Like, it's such a commitment. Like, but if it's week by week, then it's a routine that they can start to get into. Okay, every Wednesday, I'm going to make dinner, and by the time dinner's ready, it will be the new episode of Echo, and it becomes almost like a routine for 7 or 8 weeks.
It'll be appointment television and not just bingeable content that you're going to avoid sleep for one night just to finish out the series order. We've been seeing, especially with like Succession coming to an end, and all of these high-profile streaming series and other streaming services that are getting a lot of positive publicity, that are getting a lot of people that are watching them and watching each week. So this is not a good look for Echo. I do hear that Loki Season 1 is really good, so Loki Season 2 coming out in October might be a good fall watch.
And WandaVision's the best thing that Disney Plus has put out in terms of like Marvel. And then, honestly, probably Loki Season 1 is the second best.
And for those Elizabeth Olsen lovers, Love and Blood on HBO Max is actually pretty good. And there's 1 episode left of that. It was just a 5-episode series. So 5 episodes so far, 6 episodes total, 1 left to go. So if anyone is getting what has an Elizabeth Olsen fixation and they have to meet that need, Love and Blood is actually absolutely worth watching. Very suburban, very 80s, but all Elizabeth Olsen all the time.